Let's talk about the elephant in the room, which is the fact that people are using box mix brownies. They think that that's the best option. It's just not true. I'm sorry.
I've never had box mix brownies, but I assume they don't taste like elephants. But that's a bit biased because I've never had brownies before. Let's try Joshua's recipe and rate it from 1 to 10.
First, let's start with Fudgy Boys.
Fudgy Boys seems like a very inappropriate name to call someone, but I guess when you're talking about brownies, it's okay.
In a small bowl, mix together half a cup or 73 grams of all-purpose flour.
In a small bowl, measure your all-purpose flour.
3/4 of a cup or 80 grams of cocoa powder.
Add some grams of cocoa powder. You really want to shake it to get all of it out.
Half a teaspoon or 3 grams of fine sea salt.
Sprinkle some of your salts that may or may not be from the sea.
And the piece de resistance, is instant espresso powder.
And the piece de resistance is your Nescafe instant coffee. It should be the same thing as espresso powder.
Then in a medium-large bowl, add 282 grams of granulated white sugar.
In a different medium bowl, add in your white sugar.
And vigorously whisk in 170 grams of melted, unsalted butter.
Melt your butter and combine it with your sugar. You would want to use a smaller whisk, and I learned that from experience because sometimes the bigger is not always better.
To that, you're going to vigorously whisk in 2 room temperature eggs.
To that, I'm going to vigorously whisk in 2 eggs that I just brought out from my fridge.
If you're not careful here, the butter will break and you will have ruined crumbly brownie. Then whisk in 10 grams of vanilla extract.
Add in 10 grams of vanilla extract.
Then mix in your flour mixture until nice and smooth and glossy.
Mix in your flour until your arms start to pain you. By then, it should be smooth and glossy.
And gently fold in 4 ounces or 113 grams of dark chocolate.
Roughly chop your dark chocolate and combine it with the mixture that we just made.
Transfer that to a greased, parchment-lined 8x8 baking pan. Spread them out.
Daddy, chill.
Line your pans with butter and parchment paper. I saw this trick online, so I hope it works. Then you want to pour your butter into the pan and just spread it around.
Bake that bad boy at 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 175 degrees Celsius for 35 to 40 minutes.
We are going to bake this later when we are done with the second recipe.
Now let's talk about Chewy Brownie. In a small pot, combine a 1/3 cup or 70 grams of unsalted butter and 2 tablespoons or 24 grams of vegetable oil.
In a smaller pot, combine your butter and your oil.
Separately, you're going to whisk together 73 grams of all-purpose flour,
70 grams of all-purpose flour,
or 56 grams of cocoa powder,
56 grams of cocoa powder,
half a teaspoon or 3 grams of fine sea salt,
3 grams of not so fine maybe sea salt.
give this some whiskey business.
Giving whiskey business.
In a medium-large bowl, combine 150 grams of brown
A
sugar
little bit more than 150 grams of brown sugar.
and 63 grams of granulated
And
sugar.
a little bit less than 63 grams of white sugar.
And you're going to whisk in your melted butter and oil mixture.
Learning from our last example, we know that a smaller tool helps better in this situation.
Till nice and combined. Then add 2 whole room temperature eggs and then an additional room temperature egg yolk.
Also learning from our last mistakes, I put some eggs into water so that they get up to room temperature, and now we just combine them until the mixture is smooth.
You can add your flour mixture, gently whisk that in just until everything gets hydrated and you get a nice, smooth, glossy. Look at that.
Add in your flour mixture and combine everything until it's glossy. It should look something like this. I added the extra chocolate I had on ground, because why not? Then you just line your pan like you did before, which is basically just butter and parchment paper. Pour in the mixture and distribute it evenly in the pan. And now our brownie is going to the oven at 350 for 30 to 40 minutes. And this is what it looks like straight out of the oven. We would have to wait about 2 hours to cut into it. And right here I'm just trying to feel it to see if we got the texture right. Guys, I'll be very honest with you. This thing was bitter. That's just the best way to put it. This brownie was not sweet. I don't know what I did, or maybe the flavor was too deep for me, but man, it was, the brownie was quite better. I don't even know how to explain it, but I think I did something wrong. Honestly. But overall, I'll give the recipe an 8 out of 10. As for execution, a 2 out of 10. If you see me doing like I'm enjoying myself, I'm just pretending. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one. Till next time, bye.